Second mission to Haiti ends with promising results. No place for colonialism in the Caribbean, CARICOM says.
I still believe that we have to rally around the West Indies.
And heads of government batting for cricket West Indies. Welcome to this week's broadcast of the CARICOM News Time. With the details, I am Tusankin English Francis. Three former Caribbean prime ministers are back from a mission to Haiti. Jamaica's Bruce Golden, St. Lucia's Dr. Kenny Anthony, and the Bahamas' Perry Christie, dubbed the Eminent Persons Group, EPG, were on their second attempt to help Haiti find solutions to the crisis there. The first round of talks was held in Jamaica in June. They arrived in Haiti on July 12th and left on the 15th, with broad agreements on key issues such as enlarging the High Transition Council and cohesion on security. These after meetings with Interim Prime Minister Ariel Henry, key political, civil society, business, security, and human rights stakeholders. The EPG plans to return to Haiti soon to continue building agreements among Haitians for free and fair elections, peace, and stability in the country. You can read the full report on today.caricom.org. As promised in our last program, we continue highlights from Trinidad and Tobago, where CARICOM leaders had their 45th meeting and celebrated CARICOM at 50. In a tribute session, diplomats representing friendly countries and organizations praised CARICOM as a force for good and said the community can count on them as trusted partners.
CARICOM is a force for good. And even though the challenges are great, together we are more than equal to them.
CARICOM contributions to the Americas and the OAS have been invaluable. In the past 50 years, we have seen a lot happening in our region. Your commitment to democracy, human rights, and the rule of law sets an example for the entire hemisphere. This is because of your work and your capacity to build.
50 years after CARICOM's creation, our countries are intertwined across a full spectrum of priorities. Canada remains a trusted partner. As you diversify your economies, we support your ambitions for a clean and green transition, including by advancing renewable energy and energy efficiency solutions and increasing trade.
China salutes CARICOM for its hard work and applauds its achievement. Both China and Caribbean states are members of the developing world, and we share the dream of addressing all kinds of challenges and delivering better lives for our people. And during this process, China is ready to stand side by side with the CARICOM countries and remain each other's true and trustworthy friends and partners.
Mexico joins in the celebration of CARICOM's 50th anniversary and reiterates its commitment to the well-being and development of the greater Caribbean region. Promoting connectivity, trade, and investment in favor of food and energy security in the Caribbean are a priority of Mexico.
See the full tributes on CARICOM's YouTube page. CARICOM is standing behind one associate member's right to self-governance. The community says the United Kingdom should remove the statute it has reserved to impose direct rule on the British Virgin Islands. In Trinidad and Tobago, CARICOM leaders and BVI's Premier, Dr. Natalia Whitley, had a meeting following which a statement said CARICOM is against any additional powers to the governor over the BVI. Colonialism has no place in modern democratic governance in the Caribbean, the statement records. You can read the full statement on today.caricom.org. As scorching temperatures reach new highs across the world, two high-ranking U.S. leaders have acknowledged the USA's obligation to find solutions to the climate crisis as the second largest emitter of greenhouse gases. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and U.S. Minority Leader Congressman Hakeem Jeffries led a large congressional delegation to CARICOM's 45th summit, where they also acknowledged countries that contribute the least to climate change are most at risk.
To solve some of the biggest challenges facing our people, we simply have to work together and work together more effectively in genuine partnership. And I know that our Congress shares that view. That's why this extraordinary delegation from Congress is here at the same time, led by our leader, Hakeem Jeffries. We know that most of the communities being hardest hit by climate change have done the least to contribute to it. We recognize that as the world's second biggest emitter and the number one emitter historically, currently the second biggest emitter, we have a unique responsibility in the United States to address this problem.
The United States and other developed nations have disproportionately contributed to greenhouse gas emissions and the rise of extreme weather events and the climate crisis throughout the world. We recognize that it is our responsibility to be a big part of the solution.
CARICOM Chair Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said PAC 2030 can help Caribbean countries fight climate change.
The community is appreciative of the U.S.-Caribbean partnership to address the climate crisis, a framework aimed at stimulating fresh commitments to climate adaptation and resilience and clean energy program across the Caribbean. This is an excellent framework which can be beneficial to Caribbean countries in our efforts to further strengthen and deepen our renewable energies as we combat the existential threat of climate change.
South Korea remembers the assistance of countries that are now CARICOM member states during the Korean War. South Korean Prime Minister His Excellency Han Duck-soo was a special guest of heads of government at their meeting in Trinidad and Tobago. He recalled the courageous youth from Trinidad and Tobago and Suriname who risked their lives to defend a distant country from aggression. Material assistance from Haiti proved invaluable to war efforts, the South Korean Prime Minister remembers. Thanks to this and other help from the international community, South Korea has emerged from the ruins of war into an economic powerhouse. Prime Minister Han told the CARICOM heads of government that the country wants to share this knowledge with the Caribbean and is on a thrust to give back what it has received. It has pledged a 5-fold increase to the Korea CARICOM Cooperation Fund.
CARICOM has been a steadfast friend to Korea over the decades. Support from the international community, including Caribbean countries, played a significant role in Korea's transformation from the ruins of war into an economic powerhouse, now ranking as the world's 10th largest economy. Korea wishes to give back to the international community what it has received thus far. We are more eager than ever to share the knowledge and experiences we have gained during our own development process.
You can read more on this story at today.caricom.org. CARICOM is rallying around the West Indies. While heads of government are sorely disappointed with Cricket West Indies men's dismal performance in the ICC qualifiers in Zimbabwe, their spirits were lifted by the women's victories. Batting for Cricket West Indies, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, who has been very vocal recently on how let down he felt about the men's performance, will lead a team of prime ministers to work with CWI to see if the runs can flow like water again.
As the sun shines, you know we gon' take it higher. We gotta rally round the West Indies, now and forever. Yes, rally round the West Indies.
And the ICC Cricket World Cup is returning to the Caribbean. CARICOM heads spoke with CWI's president, Dr. Kishore Shallow, about preparations for the Cricket World Cup, which will be held in the Caribbean for a second time next year. We close our broadcast this week with highlights of the 50th anniversary concert. The spectacular display of the culture and rhythms of the Caribbean was presented at the National Academy of Performing Arts in Port of Spain. Do enjoy.
Will shine. I'm gonna get my share now. What's mine? Hey, well, the harder they come, the harder they fall. One and all. It's running after me. The organ is running after me.
I will see you in September for another season of the CARICOM News Time. Thank you for tuning in week after week. We really appreciate your support. Until next time.